These are the Sunday recommendations for Patreon subscribers for November the 4th, 2018. The blog post this week is the fifth in my series on what makes a memorable memorial. There's a video, the link to that is in the Patreon mailing that you should have gotten. Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint-Georges, 1745 to 1799, was a legendary fencer, a prodigiously talented violinist, composer of chamber music and operas, the conductor of one of Paris's leading orchestras, and a colonel in the Légion Saint-Georges. His lovely violin concertos are on my playlist at work, and they're real mood changer. Incidentally, Saint-Georges was the son of a plantation owner in Guadeloupe, West Indies, and an African slave. The image at the lower right on this screen shows him fencing with the mysterious transvestite Le Chevalier d'Eon. Third recommendation. One Wall Street, former home of the Bank of New York, is being converted from office space to condos. I recently came across these images of its two-story lobby, which is known as the Red Room, due to its mosaic walls and ceiling. They're the work of muralist Hildreth Meyer. I really want to be in this space, but I'm not sure it's open to the public yet. If you work on Wall Street, please drop by and let me know if it's open. And the fourth recommendation. On ukiyo-e, I apologize in advance to anyone who speaks Japanese because I don't, and I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation. Coming up is the second half of the essay that I included in last week's recommendation of Ogata Korin's Irises. The essay was written in 2000 as work for hire for Beyond Books, a company that created online courses in the history of painting and other subjects for which high schools were unlikely to have teachers. Last time I checked, the painting course was no longer available online. Beyond Books has given me permission to publish my sections of it, but I'm not comfortable with making it available to the general public without some further research. So I'm making it available to my Patreon subscribers. The chosen few. Thank you. All right. Even more famous than screens such as Ogata Korin's Irises are the woodblock prints known as ukiyo-e, prints of the floating world. The concept of the floating world originally came from Buddhism, which teaches that the world is transient and all earthly delights must pass. In India and Tibet, the transitory nature of the world led to static, unchanging art. In 17th century Japan, on the other hand, people decided that if pleasures were fleeting, one might as well enjoy them while possible. From this attitude came, for the first time, illustrations of the daily life of common people: geisha girls, kabuki actors, travelers, merchants, farmers. At first done in dramatic black and white, ukiyo-e were produced after 1765 in color, using a different block for each hue. Notable ukiyo-e artists include Morinobu, Udamaro, Hokusai, and Hiroshige. Ukiyo-e prints circulated widely within Japan, but until a few decades ago, the Japanese considered them rather plebeian and seldom collected them. In Europe, on the other hand, they were highly esteemed and had an enormous impact. After Commodore Perry sailed into Tokyo Bay in 1853, demanding that Japanese ports be opened to the West, examples of Japanese painting, sculpture, decorative arts, and even architecture began to filter back to Europe. Europeans learned much about Japanese art through inexpensive, easily transportable ukiyo-e. Japanese style, Japonisme, became the rage in late 19th century Europe. Whistler's Peacock Room and Gilbert and Sullivan's Mikado are two of the best-known manifestations. In Manet's portrait of the French writer and art critic Émile Zola, a Japanese folding screen is visible at the left, and an ukiyo-e woodcut is at the top center. Among ukiyo-e artists, Utamaro was particularly popular in the West. His picture of a woman applying makeup, circa 1792-3, displays features that influenced artists such as Degas, Toulouse-Lautrec, Monet, and Van Gogh. Mundane and transitory subjects, love of pattern, compositions that are markedly off-center and cropped. Look, for instance, at Degas' Woman with Chrysanthemums, where the woman is so far to the right that her arm is out of the painting. Why has Japanese painting been so much more influential in the West than Islamic, Indian, Tibetan, or even Chinese art? On all of which I wrote essays for Beyond Books. Perhaps because the ability of the Japanese to adopt and then adapt outside styles led to a much wider range of subjects, styles, and emotions than elsewhere in Asian art. From the mock ferocity of Sotatsu's wind and thunder gods at the upper left, to the calm landscapes of Hiroshige, from the frolicking animals of Heian art at the lower right, to the narcissistic concentration of Utamaro's courtesans, there's something for most tastes in Japanese art, all of it executed with sophistication, wit, and extraordinary skill. Thanks for listening. If you don't already belong to the Sunday recommendations list, you can visit the URL on screen or just email me. You can also support me starting at $5 a month or follow me for free on Patreon for videos, art-related recommendations, upcoming exhibitions, and much more. And check out DianeDurantewriter.com for posts on sculpture, painting, Central Park, and my other obsessions. Thank you as always for listening.